His catchphrase was "What you talking about, Willis?" Because it was always directed at Willis, because Willis was always messing up. But actually, how that catchphrase has resolved and how it was made was it was actually a typo in the script. Like, Gary Coleman was so smart that he would read exactly what was there. So if you wrote it bad, he read it bad. Back in the days of typewriters in the 70s, we had typewriters, and there was always typos and errors and misspellings and whatever that was happening. So Gary Coleman, it had said in the script, it was supposed to be, "What are you talking about, Willis?" was the line. But it ended up being watchoo, so it was W-H-A-T, chew, C-H-A, watchoo, and it had talkin, bout, and it had bout, no A, bout Willis. So in the script, Gary goes, "What you talking about, Willis?" and said it just like it was said. And at first they were like, well, and then everyone started laughing. And then, once that happened, it was like, there it is. We found the catchphrase for the show. And let me tell you, there wasn't a script. And if they forgot it, we wouldn't say it. It's not in the script. Thank goodness. But they would always find a place to put it. Here it is. Here it comes. We're talking about Willis. And it was always, we're talking about Willis. Went on and on for the next 8 years. And it drove Gary Coleman crazy because, his mistake became their, gold. And I can say the cleverness about the writers, that they knew how to squeeze it in there. And they would always find that place right where it would fit. And then if you notice, towards the end of the season, it started getting used on everybody. And, but the Willis, what you talking about, Willis, that particular statement became so powerful and so dynamic that it just became, the biggest hit. It was just, they would use it everywhere. It was always used, and kids would say it, little kids would start saying it. You got little kids trying to be Gary Coleman saying it to their older brothers. The crazy part about it was it's not like it is today. The merchandising wasn't as popular as it is now. Could you imagine a catchphrase today? Like today, they sell shirts now with Gary Coleman's face on it that says, "What you talking about, Willis?" And then also they sell shirts with women on it. Women on it says, "I'm what Willis is talking about." But the women wear. We don't see any residuals from these shirts, but they sell like crazy. And America's Top Model, a woman had it on, which is the funniest thing in the world. She's probably like 20. She has no idea who Willis is anyway, and she's got a shirt on what Willis is talking about on. This kid, he's a kid. She could be my child. Today I hear it like 5 times a day probably. Someone always thinks they're original. It's like they come and say, "What you doing about Willis?" I'm like, all right, see you later, man. It always determines how far I'm going to talk to them. Once they say that, it's like, okay, I'm out of here. I would say outside of Happy Days, sit on a Chachi or Fonzie, whatever those lines were, hey, I think that was one of the biggest catchphrases of all time.